What if every human could fly? It began with a twitch. One morning, across every continent, people awoke with a strange sensation in their spines, a subtle vibration, like the memory of a dream. No one knew what it meant. Some dismissed it, others feared it. But by evening, it was clear something had changed. A girl in Brazil, chasing her dog through a field, suddenly lifted into the air. A man in New Delhi trying to fix his roof never came back down. In New York, a delivery cyclist stopped at a red light and floated into the sky. By midnight, humanity had taken flight. It wasn't like the flight of birds or planes, it was more instinctual, like breathing or balance. People didn't sprout wings, nor did they need engines, they simply willed themselves upward, and gravity let go. Scientists scrambled to explain it, some combination of an epigenetic trigger, a global quantum shift, a shared neurokinetic evolution. No theory stuck, but it didn't matter. What mattered was that everyone, from the newborn to the elderly, could now defy the Earth. At first, it was chaos. Airports shut down, air traffic controllers quit in despair, skyscrapers became hazards as people drifted into glass or collided with drones. The military grounded its pilots. Nations closed their airspace only to realize there was no airspace anymore. Borders blurred when people simply flew over them. But after the panic, came the wonder. Children played in 3 dimensions, lovers met in midair sunsets, cities built vertical parks and spiral walkways up the sides of towers. Poverty changed, those without homes floated together above the streets in slow-moving sky caravans. Homelessness didn't end, but it evolved. The rich fled upward, building airborne estates tethered to nothing but clouds. Then came the new problems. Sky congestion became real. Flight collisions were rare but deadly. Governments scrambled to create sky zones, elevation laws, no-fly sectors. Insurance policies were rewritten overnight. But some people didn't want regulation. They wanted freedom. The air was the last frontier. Sky nomads formed their own laws, drifting in flocks across the world, trading, creating, worshipping in open skies. Weather, once a background threat, became a life-or-death reality. Storms weren't distant anymore, they were neighbors. People disappeared into cyclones, struck by stray lightning, frozen at altitude. A new job emerged: the weather shepherd, volunteers who guided lost flyers, tracked dangerous fronts, and lit paths through the mist. But with flight came something deeper, a shift in perspective. People saw the world differently from above. Wars slowed, cities began to redesign, not for cars, but for the air. Roads emptied, parking lots vanished, elevators became obsolete. People were less confined to nations, to geography, to gravity. It changed art, love, politics. Protesters filled the sky like flocks of birds, spelling messages across capitals. Parachuting became irrelevant. Space programs surged forward. If we could fly, why stop at clouds? And yet, for all the beauty, humanity remained human. Jealousies still festered. Some could fly higher, faster, longer. Competition became brutal. Sky duels between rivals ended in tragedy. Some chose to never touch ground again, claiming it made them pure. Others clung to Earth out of fear. A few groups rejected flight entirely, believing it unnatural, a test, a curse, a punishment from above. Then, after 3 years, something changed again. One morning, a man in Moscow fell, then a child in Peru, then thousands. The flight faded, not instantly, but piece by piece. People panicked, descending clumsily, like Icarus with time to consider the fall. Some fell from great heights, others wept as they touched the ground for the first time in months. The skies emptied. Scientists offered no reason, no cause, just theories. It was a gift, they said, a brief evolutionary flicker, a warning, a dream. Religious leaders called it divine, either blessing or lesson. Pilots returned to the skies, planes flew again, but people were never the same. They remembered the freedom, the feeling of the wind beneath them, the silence between the clouds, the way the world looked when the horizon was just a suggestion. And sometimes, just before sleep, some claimed they still felt it, that flutter in the spine, that breath of upward pull, as if the sky was waiting. And one day, might welcome them back.